Hello, everyone. My name is Austin Savage. I am the managing director here at 95 Network, and we are back with another story from a pastor that we've had the opportunity to work with recently. And so I'm excited to introduce you guys to Darren DePaul, who is the lead pastor of Cornerstone Church in Clinton, Connecticut. So, Darren, thank you
Awesome.
for being willing to share your story today.
Definitely. Well, thanks for
Yeah.
having me, and I'm so glad that we've gotten connected with you guys, and for me, reconnected with Dale after a few years. So
Absolutely, because you mentioned you used to live in South Carolina, correct?
we
And you
did,
knew him
we
at
did,
that time? So
yeah, we did.
crazy.
Yep,
So,
yep.
man, small world.
Oh,
So we got to reconnect with you. You actually hosted one of our one-day events. I want to say it was like
definitely.
a month ago or something like that.
It's October, believe it or
Was
not.
it?
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
this year
So
has
like two,
flown by.
yeah, right, 2.5 months
Gosh.
ago. Yeah.
So you hosted that, and then you
Yep.
actually brought us in then for a Vision Day,
Yep.
which is kind of our just one day strategic planning process.
Yeah.
And so what were you guys facing as a church that
Yeah.
made you feel like that was something that you needed?
So I mean, there's a lot of things going on there. So I'll try to be as brief as I can, but
Hmm.
I've been fortunate to have some different people in my life, different coaches, and then to be a part
Yeah.
of some different organizations and cohorts. And I've known for a while that we've needed
Yeah.
an outside voice to come in.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm sure as a lot of the people listening and watching know, like consultants they're expensive,
They
and
are.
or bringing in outside organizations are expensive. So we talked to a lot of those companies. I know some of those people, and we just couldn't swing it financially.
Hmm.
Um, when my wife and I and my kids arrived here 4.5 years ago, Cornerstone was just struggling, just in a host of ways.
Yeah.
Attendance, financially, just all of that. I mean, it was just a train wreck. So it's been
Hmm.
4.5 years of rebuilding, and while we have a good number of finances to drop, $10,000 to $20,000 on
Yeah.
an outside consulting group to come in was crazy. So
Hmm.
reconnected with Dale, heard more and more about 95 Network, and we were actually talking with Converge, which is the organization that we partner with,
Yeah.
denomination, what have you. And they actually provide strategic planning and stuff at a pretty affordable rate. But
Okay.
they were booked solid for a
Yeah.
while. And
Yeah.
then as Dale and I was as we were talking, and we met at the one day event, he's like, I got this one day thing. It's really cost effective.
Hmm.
Um, and I started thinking and processing what he was sharing, and I was like, that's a great starter for us, because we,
Right.
a lot of people still on our boards, committees, whatever you want to call them, leadership teams, were with us 5 years ago, even before I arrived, when
Yeah.
all heck broke loose at our church. So this was a good primer for them.
Hmm.
And we've already discussed, now 6, 8 months, a year down the road, hey, we're going to bring in, and do a more 2 or 3 day, more thorough vision
Hmm.
process.
Right.
But man, Dale was excellent. I mean, we got so much done in 6 hours or so, seven. It
Yeah.
was incredible, and the unity that came out of that,
Yeah.
and just hearing people's voices, and
Hmm.
it was awesome. I mean, it was invaluable. It was
Yeah.
invaluable.
So let's talk about that. So what specifically, like, what was the experience like, and then like what clarity did you guys gain specifically for moving forward?
Sure, we have so much going. I mean, we're in a little bit of an abnormal sense in that we've
Yeah.
we've turned some pretty significant corners as a church,
Okay.
and essentially a replant. And for us, it brought us all on the same page. I think there were just different. While I don't think people would have shared this, because I think they trust me, they trust our elders,
Hmm.
but I think there were just some people that have everybody does. You have different expectations for what you think, how the
Yeah.
church should go, and what
Yeah.
the church,
It's fair.
the vision and what you hope for the church. So
Hmm.
I think we shared some similarities, um, but it was really helpful to nail it all down and
Hmm.
say, no, now we're a united front. And at one point we were talking about a new mission statement. We've
Yeah.
had a mission statement for 4 years or so, and I've really felt like the Lord, like, leading us in a different direction.
Hmm.
And so I shared that mission statement some in the group already knew about it, a few of the elders.
Yeah.
And Dale, kind of walked us through that and communicating what that mission statement means to the church, the Great Commission, and okay, is everybody on board? Do you all agree with this? And just solidifying the mission statement and coming together with a unified approach to what we're doing moving forward was huge.
Yeah.
So, and then out of that too was, like a lot of small churches, you struggle with, volunteer recruitment, engagement, even implementing certain programs to train leaders. So that was one of the things that we came out of, like, hey, we really have got to press into to kind of leadership development. Pipeline, whatever you want to call it.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So what's next moving forward? So you guys gained kind of this clarity, this unity. Yeah. What's next?
Well, what's next is, we came out of that with a lot of hope and a lot of excitement. So, even aside from 95 Network, we're going to be rebranding the church, renaming the church.
Yeah.
We talked about that some.
That's a big deal.
We're going to be pushing into a campaign to raise capital funds to move facilities because we've outgrown where we are. But specifically with 95 Network, all that stuff was talked about on Saturday, but specifically, Dale led us through this process of, here are these kind of 4 action steps that we need to start targeting. And he kind of facilitated the group to take ownership of that aside from me.
Yeah,
which
it's good.
Praise the Lord. So he basically, he basically said, okay, who's gonna lead, who's gonna facilitate this small group of people out of this larger group that we had together. We had, I think, 10 or 12 in the room, and I think 5 are helping now take these next steps to implement those action steps of developing leaders, things like assimilation, how to get people in the front door, and not just to get them there in the seats on Sunday morning, but actually engaged in the body through crews, which are our small groups, and just serving. Y'all know better than I do, but statistically the numbers are crazy. Once people start plugging in and serving, they're locked in.
It's huge.
So,
yeah. Well, thank you for being willing to share some of that. We knew that this was pretty impactful for you and your church. And so, and the reason we've been doing this kind of series of stories for all of you who are watching is because the reality is the only reason that we can make things like VisionDay affordable and that we can continue to resource churches is because people stand with us as a ministry and invest in what we're doing to invest in churches. And so if you're captured by Darren's story or any of the other stories we've shared, we'd be honored if you would stand with us as we go into 2020 to help us remain financially strong and stable to continue to help churches just like Darren. So thank you, Darren, for being willing to share your story today, man. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Austin. Appreciate it.